Yo, 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 Thought Warriors. What is up? Higher Learning is on. It is I, Van Lathan.
And it's me, Rachel Lindsay.
Rachel, you're still
I'm at grandma's house.
at your grandma's house there in Houston.
Still here. Still on vacation.
When are you coming back?
Tomorrow.
You don't want to leave.
I don't want to leave. Never feels like enough time. I've been here since Monday, and I feel like I haven't had enough time with my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to catch up for almost 2 years.
So I look at the pictures that are on the wall over here, and they are very grandma-esque pictures that are on the wall for anyone that's watching.
So to the left is my grandma. Right here on the other side is her mother, my great-grandma, Mama Bessie. Mama Bessie. And in the middle is my mom and my aunt with the two of them. So, you know, a little insight into the family. See the older picture on the wall right there? That's Mama Bessie.
Is she still with us?
That's Mama Bessie.
She's gone on to glory?
No, she passed away. Gone on to glory, 2017.
So.
Lived to be 97?
That's all you can ask for. What I wonder when I see grandma pictures is that, were those pictures ever new?
Wait, what does that mean?
So,
what do you mean?
At some point, you look at pictures that your grandma has in a photo book, and the pictures look super old, right? Because they are super
correct.
I can't ever imagine the time that some of these pictures were ever new. It just seems like the picture came out developed 35 years old.
Old. That's how they all used to look. That's that one, right? That one is old. But these are new.
I mean, but they have, but even the frame, because like even the frame that they're in right now, like, you know,
what you trying to say?
I'm not saying anything about the frame. The frame is a lovely, understated frame, but there's been significant technology advancements in the frame department since whenever that was. I wonder that I go to my grandmother. I'm around my grandmother, my mama, who has an incredible youthful spirit. I'm like, at one point she was like 21. Damn.
It's hard to see that. It's hard to see that your grandparents were like you.
Yeah. Like at one point my grandfather was probably like, yo, Cletus, T-Bob, Lil Jimmy, let's go get some hoes. And I can't think of that, you know? It's hard.
I know mine said that.
Your granddad?
Now, I know he did.
Is he a rapscallion? Like, what is he?
Sure.
Talk to me about it.
He was a good time.
He
was a good time. Van, I got some news. I'm very excited.
What's up?
By the time this comes out tomorrow, I will have already been a co-host on The View. As a guest.
What? They have you coming in to replace Meghan McCain to give conservative viewpoints?
Wait, I'm sorry. I just heard the last part of what you said. To give the conservative view? No.
Rachel, that's going to be your new situation. That is amazing, though. That's super amazing.
Sonny's out, so they asked me if I would step in.
You're going to get the job eventually.
No, it's not a job audition.
I love Sonny. Sonny's my friend.
They have guest hosts.
Sonny's my friend.
She's your friend?
Actually, she's not my friend.
We all knew that was gonna come.
I've only talked to her on DM a couple of times, but you know what? We gotta do now. We gotta cook up a scandal. Not with Sonny. Okay, we gotta figure out.
You're not wrapping a scandal around me being on this show.
No. Not what I'm saying. So who's on The View? Who's on The View right now?
Okay. Joy Behar. Whoopi. Sarah Haines. Meghan McCain. Sonny Hostin.
Okay, Sarah Haines is out. It's Big Rach time. I don't know who Sarah Haines is. So here's the deal.
Okay.
We got
Sarah's a friend, as you would say.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. But she's got to go. Survival of the fittest is Big Rach all the way to the top. And so the reality is that unfortunately, we can't get rid of Meghan McCain because we need a little.
You gotta have a conservative
spice.
view. Yeah.
Can't really get rid of Joy. Joy is she is a legacy. Tenured there.
She's tenured.
Can't get rid of Whoopi. She runs the show. Can't get rid of Sonny because Sonny's one of my faves. Okay, so Sarah Haines, get out of here. Back to the soup kitchen. Back to the soup kitchen.
I'm not trying to. As you always like for me to take somebody's job. That's not happening here. I am just stepping.
Yes, it.
I am just
stepping in. And we're about to talk about it.
You like that segue? You like that?
Yeah. Yes, it did, and we're about to talk about it. But you stepped in. How was it?
No. It's live. I haven't done it yet. It's tomorrow.
Oh, damn. That's right.
It's a live show.
Wow.
I've done live TV in a while, so I'm a little nervous.
That's a fantastic platform, Rach.
I'm just a little nervous because I'm like, what you say, it's out there. You know, I haven't done live.
Rach, you should be on The View. You really should.
Aw, thanks,
like you should
man.
be on
That's
The
really
View.
Sweet.
And I have a sneaking feeling that there'll be a negative Sarah Haines story that breaks here in the next couple of weeks.
Stop.
I still know people.
Don't do my girl like that. You still know people?
I still know people.
At your former place of business?
I still know people.
Stop. She's good people.
I can run one up, Sarah.
You know who she is. She used to have the show with Strahan after Good Morning America. Strahan and Sarah.
Strahan and Sarah. Let me look this up.
And then it was Kiki. Strahan, Sarah, and Kiki.
Strahan, because I don't think I know who that is.
You do.
Strahan, Sarah, and Kiki. I like Kiki. Do they still do that? Strahan and Sarah?
No, it's not on the air anymore.
What?
That's why she went to The View. That's why she became a permanent host on The View.
So what did she do to get kicked out of Good Morning America? Maybe her old demons come back to haunt her.
No, nothing. Nothing. They just canceled the show.
Let me see.
And they gave her another ABC show.
Oh, man, she could definitely go. I'm looking at it right now. Nah, she out of here.
Van.
She done.
Van.
It's over. Her reign at the top was short like
Stop
leprechauns. It's like, look at the way, look at this. Okay, so I know what the scandal's going to be now. Everybody has to look. Look at this inappropriate touching of Michael Strahan. Michael Strahan looks visibly shaken and uncomfortable as his colleague Sarah Haines.
Wow, I can tell
you
wrote some stories at TNT.
Right, I did. I wrote some stories. Look, see what she's doing right here? See how she's got her hand around his shoulder area? That's what they basically fired me for. She just did the same thing. Sarah Haines pulled a...
Because you posed for a picture?
No, because I put
with your
my hands on the shoulder neck area of one of my coworkers who happened to be my best friend in the office, but whatever. We'll leave out.
Are you allowed to talk about this?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but she did the same thing. She's out. She's done. You'll be there by Tuesday. Look, this is like over here. It's about Big Rach world domination, and we're not going to stop until
I appreciate the
all
support.
All of the obstacles,
but that's
down.
not how I want to go at it. No, that's not how I want to go at it.
Why did they go to the red carpet together?
Probably to promote their show.
Nah, man, this look a little bit.
Stop. Sarah is married to an attorney. She's got 3 beautiful children.
What's the attorney's name?
I don't know. Max. I can't think of his last name.
Maybe I'll check in with him. See if he has any stories, any peccadillos he wants to help us get us. Okay, I'm just joking about getting Sarah out of here, man. Sarah's cool. That's a perfect platform for you, though.
Thank you.
Opinionated ladies.
I'm a little nervous. We'll see how it goes.
Why are you nervous?
I don't really get nervous, but I never got to be on The View as a guest as the Bachelorette.
Nah.
Other people did before me and after. So it's my first time on the show. You know, I just want to make sure I hold my own, but also be respectful of other people when they have the mic. I'm nervous for my facial expressions.
Do you have the topics?
Because we all know I can't control them. No, not yet.
You don't know the topics. When are they going to give you the topics?
Late tonight, finalized tomorrow.
You got to get Meghan McCain. This is what you got to do.
I'm not trying to. My goal is to not come after people.
Let's look at Meghan McCain's tweets right now. Look, we need to look. You're not thinking about this.
Are you prepping me? You're prepping me for my spot.
I'm not prepping you. You don't need my help. But I'll tell you one thing. In case you want in case you want some bullets in the gun, we should think about these things. You know what I mean? Let's see. Meghan McCain, Vice President. Hold on. Okay. Here's what Meghan McCain has said.
Today?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
The
Because she wasn't on yesterday, so she's gonna be ready to go.
She said on Twitter, "Can someone in media who just isn't gonna slobber over Dr. Fauci interview him? There are some serious and legitimate questions that he needs to be asked after this email dump that the American people have a right to know the answer to." I don't think that's quite controversial enough. We can't get her on that. Let's see what else we got here.
I have a feeling we'll be talking about that.
Oh, Meghan McCain. Here it is right here. Wow. Okay. Tweeted 12 minutes ago. In my opinion, the sacrifices of the African American community. Oh, wow. This is actually kind of nice. The sacrifices of the African American community on Memorial Day actually go overlooked. And this is the day that we are reminded of the unity between all Americans. I think a proper celebration for African American soldiers should be held in Africa, where all black people should go back to right away. She tweeted that about 10 minutes ago, basically. About 10 minutes ago, she tweeted that all black people should go back to Africa. So,
Stop.
if you want to do something about that, then maybe, but yeah. Look, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you get to the next stage.
Thank you, Van, and I appreciate that.
That's great.
I appreciate that because I know where your heart is and what you're doing for me.
She's out.
Doesn't go unnoticed.
Sarah's
Thank
out.
you.
And we're gonna get Megan. We're gonna get Megan tomorrow. We're gonna tomorrow. Sarah's out. So you're nervous. What are you nervous about? Would you say?
Didn't I already answer this question?
No, I want to know specifically what makes you nervous. You comport yourself so.
It's live TV. So it's out there. Like there are no takebacks. It's live TV. I've never been on this platform before. Just want to make sure that I hold my own. That I don't make a fool of myself. And I feel like some people have high expectations. I just want to make sure I meet them or exceed them. Thank you.
Great. It's very exciting. Very exciting. Is this Zoom or you got to fly up there and do it?
No, it's Zoom. It's Zoom.
Oh, it's Zoom.
They're not in studio, or not all of them are in studio.
So some of them go to the studio.
I think maybe one does.
Maybe one person goes.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, it's getting pretty close to the 15th here. It's a couple of weeks away to where things will start opening up here in old California. Are you prepared for this? Are you prepared for the world to open back up? You ready?
Well, I feel prepared now being out here in Texas. It's a weird thing. Nobody wears their mask anywhere. You walk into establishments, no mask. Once I stepped away from the airport, maskless. So I kind of have gotten a taste of to what it's like. And I'm shocked at how quickly I adapted. I thought that I would still be like, California, we're not like that. We're still wearing our masks. Yeah. And I was just like, you know what? I'm vaccinated. I'm making sure I'm careful. I'm not really touching hands. I'm not giving hugs. I'm still keeping my distance.
Yeah. Yeah.
But without a mask.
Yeah, it's true. They actually changed the official song of Texas. It goes.
What was the official song of Texas?
It was Deep in the Heart of Texas. And it went, the stars at night shine big and bright. That's not how it goes now. It goes, the stars at night shine big and bright.
That's so not funny. That's not funny.
That's how it goes.
That's not funny.
They wilding.
Not funny.
They really are wilding though. They really are wilding. But I guess the numbers aren't super bad. You know what I mean? I guess we're really moving towards vaccinations and prior infections,
I wouldn't trust them, whatever they are, being under the being governed by Greg Abbott. I wouldn't trust it anyway. So
Inventing the Abbott's a great movie. You never saw it.
Correct. But I've heard of it.
Yeah. Jennifer Connelly. Hot. Okay. Joaquin Phoenix.
What was it called? Inventing the Abbotts?
Inventing the Abbotts. It's a great story about a well-to-do family in this town. There's not a black soul in this movie. It's a well-to-do family. It's a couple of brothers. and then like a couple of sisters. It's Liv Tyler, Jennifer Connelly. They're the Abbotts. Okay, the Abbotts are the rich family. Then there's the lower family, and it's great. It's a great movie. Great movie. So we've stalled enough, and we've acted as if the chit chat matters. We've talked about you on The View. We've talked about Texas. That's not what motherfuckers want to hear on this podcast today. Boom! Breaking news, higher learning listeners. Chris Harrison will not return to Bachelor in Paradise. He is being replaced by David Spade. Okay, sources tell Page 6. Spade was picked because he's a Bachelor superfan who's built a cult following among fellow fans because of his hilarious commentary about the show that he does out on his Instagram account. So, I didn't know that David Spade was a huge Bachelor superfan. He apparently is. Emmanuel Acho did not get the job. Okay, they didn't.
We don't even know if he was going for it, so don't do that. We don't even know if he wanted it.
So they're going to call Emmanuel Acho and ask him if he wants to host The Bachelor, and then he's going to say no. Okay.
No, I'm sure he would. Maybe if it worked with the schedule, he works a full-time job at Fox Sports. He can't just travel on location and be gone for 2 months.
I'm telling you.
Fox probably said no.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll figure it out because he'll come on the podcast and I'll ask him dead to his face. So, Chris Harrison, Audi 5000. Rachel Lindsay, your thoughts?
As Van takes a sip of water. Listen, I know you were so eager to talk about this as soon as you saw the headlines. Mm-hmm. I don't really have much to say.
Oh my God.
I will say, David Spade, I knew was a super fan. I actually met him backstage at Ellen when I was promoting The Bachelorette. I'm curious to see how this works. If you do follow David Spade and you've listened to his commentary, he is funny. He's got this dry sense of humor, especially when he talks about the show. And he's very sarcastic. And it's also very crude. And it's inappropriate. And it's not for family television. So I don't know how this is going to translate to him being the host on the show. Because if you try to like water him down, then he's not David Spade and he doesn't bring that energy into the role. He's got to be funny. He's got to be in character. So I'm very curious to see how this works. I will tell you, it's got me intrigued. Never did I see David Spade taking the spot. I will add though that it's not just David Spade. They're saying that maybe he's doing 2 episodes and then they're going to bring in other celebrity guest hosts to fill in.
Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, I don't think David Spade will have very much problems keeping it clean. He's been very much trouble, shall I say, keeping it clean. He's been on network television before, and so I think he knows the guardrails that exist there. That's okay. I couldn't care less about really your thoughts on whether or not David Spade will be a good host. I'm sorry that's not what I wanted to hear. What I want to hear is,
I know you don't think I know that.
Like David Spade could be a good host. He might not be a good host. What do you think about the decision? How do you feel, both internally and externally for the Bachelor franchise, about the pretty seismic decision to not bring Chris Harrison back at this point? He's been a staple in the show for going on, 20 years or something stupid like that. So this is a monumental decision. What do you think?
First of all, I feel nothing. Second, it's not this monumental decision when we've already seen him not host The Bachelorette. If this was the first season of something he wasn't hosting, then maybe so. I think we already kind of knew he wasn't hosting Bachelor in Paradise. So this wasn't that. What was shocking is who is hosting, not the fact that Chris Harrison is not hosting. I don't expect him to be hosting this next season of The Bachelorette either. Okay, so if we're having this conversation again, when they decide who's hosting that, I don't expect for it to be Chris. If Chris Harrison is going to come back, I think it'll be for The Bachelor. That's what I think, and it will be a lead that is white, which is why I don't see him coming back for Michelle's season. So when they announce The Bachelor and we see who it is, then I expect a following announcement of whether or not Chris Harrison will be the host. I think they're trying to figure out to see how the audience is going to respond to the lack of Chris Harrison. and how these guest hosts do.
If the audience were to respond favorably to the lack of Chris Harrison, do you think that there's a possibility that he wouldn't be brought back at
100%.
all? Do you think that there's a possibility here that ABC is testing the grounds to see whether or not the franchise actually needs Chris Harrison?
Correct. I think, my personal opinion, if the ratings don't drop and everything stays the same or gets better, I don't think they'll bring him back, because it's a business at the end of the day. So if your money isn't affected by this and your ratings are the same or better, then you can keep going in the way that you're going, bringing in different hosts or a whole new host, whatever does the job. If the ratings dip, which is to be, I think a lot of people suspect that they will be, because there's a lot of people saying they're going to boycott it, then I think Chris Harrison being the host is back on the table. It's a business at the end of the day. It's all about the money. Same reason they never had a lead of color, because they were afraid it would affect the business. Like my season had lower ratings. And they used to say that's part of the reason that they didn't have another lead of color. Audience didn't respond to it well.
Your season having lower ratings, that's largely due to Brian, I would suspect. I'd give Brian probably like 60% of the blame there. Just Brian himself.
You want to try that again? You want to run that by me again?
I'm just saying, just because it's probably Brian's fault. You know, Brian is he's scary. Like, I'm scared of him.
Get out of here.
He's got like this whole Brian, like when Brian's around, he's like mysterious, right? You never know what he's thinking. Like, he's gonna whip out a comb and be like, boom, and then comb his hair. Then
this isn't Grease Lightning, Van.
That's who Brian is, though.
He's not Danny Zuko. He's not Kaneki. Do not.
Brian is one of the most Danny Zuko niggas that's ever lived. The only dude who is more Danny Zuko than Brian is actually Danny Zuko.
I rebuke that. I am not married to Danny Zuko.
Why wouldn't you want Brian to be Danny Zuko? Danny Zuko is literally the coolest. Danny Zuko was awesome. No?
Danny Zuko was cool, but there was also a level of cheesiness associated to him. Watch your mouth. Watch what you say before you say something next.
Well, I'm not gonna say anything. I don't think he's cheesy at all, but I also don't think that Danny Zuko is cheesy. In heaven, what alone?
Why
I sit and wonder why
oh,
you let
me.
Oh,
with the hot dogs in the background.
With the hot dogs, he's at the drive-in movie theater. Yeah. You know why she raped you? You know why she left you? Because you sexually assaulted her. That's why.
Did.
You just Sandy. Yeah, that's why. Like, you sexually assaulted her. That's why she left. Then she came back at the end, and she was the evil version of herself. All you gotta do in the 70s to be the evil version of yourself is wear black. She basically teased her hair and came back in all black, and she was evil Sandy. I'm gonna watch that shit tonight. I love that fucking movie. And here's the thing. This is the last thing I'll say about Danny Zuko before we get back to the point. Danny Zuko was a cool guy with like a heart of gold. And that's kind of what Brian is.
Oh, way to redeem yourself. I'll take that.
Season. There was like 2 Danny Zuko. There it is. So Chris Harrison not coming back to the Bachelor in Paradise. What I'm going to do is I am going to start a GoFundMe.
Come on, Van.
Chris Harrison.
You gotta.
It's getting to the point to where
he's not coming on the show. So you can keep talking all this talk. It's not going to get him to come on this show.
I want him on the show. I want Chris Harrison on the show. Think about how far I could get Chris Harrison to go. See, when Chris Harrison comes on this show, I'm actually going to be full MAGA. I'm going to lead him into the primrose path. I'm going to get Chris Harrison on this show to say that he only wishes he could have taken part in the January 6th insurrection. Like, I'm going to lead him down. Chris, because here's what you have to do as a black person. If you really want to get your white friends to admit to their different schisms, their different racisms, all you have to do is lead them. You know, you go like next time you're out with one of your white friends, try it. Try it. Just say, hey, I'm glad we came to this restaurant because I'm gonna be honest with you. The Cheesecake Factory on the South Side, man. I'm gonna be real with you. It's got too many black people in it, and they get super duper loud. And watch your friend go. I'm glad you said it, cause I can't believe it.
Oh my gosh.
And I know I can get that out of Chris Harrison. I know I can.
Something's wrong with you.
So you were. I'm just saying. I know I can get that out of Chris Harrison. I know I can get that out of Chris Harrison. Before I get it, I'll have Chris Harrison saying that we have lower IQs. Yeah, it's just a thing. Who are you to go against the evidence? Who are you? It's evidence. I can get it out of him. I know. Just come on, man. Come on, Chris. You're a jerk, bro. All right, so you're a big track person.
I do.
You love the track and field. So one of the most dynamic figures in the history of track and field is getting their own biopic. Yeah, Flo-Jo, Florence Griffith Joyner, is getting her own biopic, and it is being produced and will star, is being produced by, should I say, and will star Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish, a press release came out. Tiffany Haddish says that she was a huge fan of Flo-Jo growing up, and now she is going to star in the biopic. I say Tiffany Haddish as Flo-Jo. What do you think?
First of all, I want to say I'm happy that they're finally doing this on Flo-Jo. It took long enough. We lost her way too soon and in such a very sudden way. I can't wait for this to come out. Big fan of her. Thought I was going to be her back in the day until I realized I was not meant for the Olympics or on the Olympic path. But I'm excited. I'm not here to, I don't know. I never thought about who would play Flo-Jo if they ever were going to do a biopic. I'm just happy it's being done. I'm happy to see Tiffany Haddish produce it. I'm happy that she's a fan because I know she's going to do justice to the role, to the movie. So I'm excited for it. Did you not have her picked as Flo-Jo? You don't think she could do a good job?
She can do a good job as Flo-Jo. I think it's a high leverage situation for Tiff. Okay. Tiffany Haddish came out and she was an instant success. Well, not an instant success. She'd been working for years.
Yeah.
But how about not an instant success? She burst onto the scene with Girls Trip. And the movie was just amazing and she was so great in it. Since then, she's really kind of divided the audience, amongst people who really love Tiffany Haddish and people who are off of her. And, there's been a track record of some movies that some people went to and didn't enjoy as much if you listen to Twitter. You know what I mean? So a role like this in a movie that it's always risky for the lead. Not so much if you're white, because white people are allowed to make mistakes and make art that, people don't like. But for some reason, amongst the black audiences, you make something we don't like, and then we must cancel you. So amongst those people, she's got to deliver. This is going to be a big, glossy film, and it's very memeable if some of the scenes don't hit well, and the spotlight, the focus all on you in this movie with someone of this stature. It's always risky when you take on something like that, Do
we know if she's got the family support behind it? And is this going to be a movie like to the big screen, or is this coming to television like a mini series, or do we know anything about that?
From what I understand, this is going to be a film, and she's getting in crazy shape for it. She's a consummate professional, so she puts her best foot forward and all of this stuff. But this is one of those ones, man. This is one of those ones where it can either propel you forward or knock you back.
Yeah.
And other actors have been in movies like that and delivered. And then there have been some actors that have been in movies like that and it's really, really hurt their careers. And
like who?
Oh, wow. Good question. So
like Flex as Michael Jackson? Never forget. Never. Have we seen him since? Look it up. If y'all don't know. Actually, can we put up a graphic? Actually,
God.
at this point in the podcast, please let's put up a graphic.
Wow. Yeah, well, that was VH1 though. Is
I
the
don't
only
care.
thing I would say. Those movies don't.
You have to know when to say no.
Man, no. So this is gonna be a film, and Flo-Jo's widower. Is it widow or widower when it's a guy? It's widow. The guy's Flo-Jo's.
That's a great question. I don't know.
I don't know. And her former coach Al Joyner is going to be a part of the movie.
Okay,
so
good.
He's training Tiff to play Flo-Jo.
Wow.
So Tiff is in the best possible position to succeed here.
Wow.
And like I said, there's some people that come for her on the internet, and if she doesn't do a great job, then they're going to come for her. But that's the chance you take whenever you get into a big world like this. So it's a very important. And if she nails this, she already out of here. But if she nails this, she out of here. Out of here.
Well, it puts her in a different.
Out of here.
Have we seen her play a serious role? You know this.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm like, me in the movies.
Yeah, she has. But like I said, people with results that for some people are mixed.
What movie?
I think she's a top. So there was one that she did with what's the lady's name? Melissa McCarthy. And it wasn't too long ago. They did. Was it with Melissa McCarthy? It was it was definitely with Melissa McCarthy. I can't remember the name of it. I saw a little bit of it. Wasn't bad to me. I think she just had and just was fucking fantastic in the funniest movie I have seen in years.
Bad Trip.
She was amazing in Bad Trip.
Yeah.
Like amazing in it. So, it'll be 2 straight hits for her, or she'll be in a run of hits if she can deliver. If she drops the ball, then they might feel a certain way. Flexes Michael Jackson. What is the greatest? The Kitchen.
The Kitchen is the name of that movie you're talking about.
The Kitchen. What is the greatest VH1 biopic ever? VH1 Lifetime combined.
Ooh. No, Lifetime's too hard. There's been too many.
So VH1 did TLC.
TLC was good. I actually enjoyed the TLC one.
You like that shit?
I'm trying to figure out where to start from, because are we including?
They did TLC. They did Michael Jackson. They did Hammer.
Not Hammer.
You didn't like the Hammer one?
I enjoyed it just because I'm a Hammer fan. But
right.
What about the Temptations and the Jackson 5? Those were miniseries. Those don't right.
You should. God damn, that's disrespectful.
I just want to make sure. I was so young when they aired.
The Temptations and the Jackson 5 is like compared to the VH1 stuff. That's like this.
I don't know where they aired.
The 16 Chapel of fucking Louvre, goddamn Mona Lisa.
I don't know what network they aired on. Is what I'm saying. I don't know. I was so young when they came out.
I think they were on. I think the Jacksons was on either NBC or ABC. The Jacksons, A Family Dream. That's the 16
The American
Chapel.
Dream.
Get
it right.
The Jacksons, I think that's either NBC or ABC. I want to say maybe ABC. And then the Temptations, I think also. I think the Temptations, that wasn't BET. The Temptations was.
See, I don't know.
ABC or something like that.
Okay.
I'm looking
both
it up
fantastic.
Right now. But those were amazing though. Like those were really good. And bro, Angela Bassett was in the Jacksons. You know what I mean? Billy D. Williams, Vanessa Williams, Terrence Howard. Like that was a real
I know
movie.
I know every word in that movie. I'm just saying, I don't know. Okay, well, if we're going with.
So it was on ABC.
Okay, well, I guess TLC. Oh,
TLC.
See, I didn't finish watching Salt and Pepper.
That was on Lifetime, though.
Okay, that was Lifetime. Wendy Williams was Lifetime.
Wendy Williams was
Whitney
Lifetime.
Houston was Lifetime.
Lifetime.
I gotta go with TLC.
You gonna go with TLC? I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson. I'm sorry. Entertainment value is what I'm talking about. That
the
was
disrespect.
Amazing. Bro. entertainment, like in it, that is so funny. Hold on for a second. I gotta pull up a clip like that. Like, hold on, like that was. The Temptations was on NBC. Jackson 5 was on ABC. Okay. I gotta pull up a clip of Flex as Michael Jackson. That shit was so funny. And when we watched it, and they only kind of they skirted around the edges, as they skirted around the edges. Hold on. They skirted around the edges of the child molestation stuff. And it was hilarious. Hold on. Michael Jackson. Look at this.
I don't want to see it. I remember. I remember.
Oh my God. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord.
Like, oh my Lord. Have we seen Flex since? Somebody sent out I'm serious. There's a bad mistake.
Okay, so now it's time to get to the politics of it. There is a debate brewing over critical race theory. Do you know what critical race theory is, Rachel? Okay, go down to Texas. You got a cough now.
Yeah.
Remember what I said earlier. So here, I want to make sure everyone understands this out there. All the thought warriors that are listening to this, because they're going to hear about a debate about critical race theory, surrounding critical race theory. You're going to be asking yourself, what is critical race theory? Why does it matter? Why does it have its proponents? Why does it have its detractors? Okay. The Republicans, so critical race theory, as I understand it, and Rach, if I get this wrong, please correct me. As I understand it, critical race theory is an examination of American systemic dysfunction, using race as an indicator for some of the inequalities that we've seen both historically and that we see today. And it's the framing of history through the lens of those inequalities and through how those inequalities were intentional and started around the time that the framers put the American system of government together. It is, if you will, a view of American society through the lens of systemic inequality. Hold on. It is, if you will, a view of American society through that lens. Okay, it's teaching
through the perspective of race and racism.
The perspective of race and racism. Okay, so people argue that teaching that and getting kids in schools or wherever they might be, in jobs, in workplaces, familiar with this will lead to an understanding of what we need from each other in society. Okay. Opponents of that say that framing things in that way, the opponents who happen to be conservative, argue that framing things in that way is divisive and leads to a more fractured America than a more whole America. And there's legislation being proposed in different red states that will ban the teaching of critical race theory in schools. Now, the interesting thing about that is there's not very much teaching of critical race theory that's going on in schools. What you're really looking at is that critical race theory is being lobbied about as sort of a political volleyball in order for one side to be performative with their supporters and really drum up support, making people believe that there's some group that wants to radicalize and racialize America and they have to be stopped at all costs. You're aware of this debate. I seriously doubt you have a problem with critical race theory, but my question is, do you see why anybody would? Do you see the question for you is, do you see any reason why anyone would have a problem with framing American society in this lens and discussing it in this way?
No. I think the people who are opposing it are twisting the definition of what critical race theory is. I mean, you've got a point of view out there from the Republican side, or people, I mean, I shouldn't just say Republican, people who oppose it, that are saying that this critical race theory is asserts that people with white skin are inherently racist. And they're trying to, I guess, play on people's emotions and make it feel like their whiteness is threatened in some kind of way, or it's about political correctness or cancel culture. And they're playing on these emotions. And I think that that's the wrong way to do it. And I think that's how they're getting more people to oppose it. But that's not what critical race theory is. And I just find it very interesting that if we're supposed to be having these conversations and we're supposed to be understanding how we got here, if you don't recognize and understand what our country was built on and what it's about, then how can you ever move forward to a better place? If you continue to brush it under the rug, it's going to come out if the institutions that our country was built on are inherently racist. And I think that that's all that it is. It's history to me. It's education to me. It's not attacking a specific race. It's not attacking a certain type of person. It's about recognizing how this country came to be. And to me, I guess the question I ask myself is, what are you so afraid of for this theory to be taught? What scares you? Why is it such a problem for you? What has you so rattled that people can't understand that maybe the people who started this country were racist? Maybe some of the institutions that have been existing in our society since the beginning of time were inherently racist.
Well,
Why
the answer to that
is
it cuts against the American ideal. It cuts against the thing that you have to believe in order to maintain the status quo. And it's a very simple concept, and we both know it, right? The status quo is maintained not by who is super talented, but by who is super flawed. So in any group of people, there will be talented people, right? There'll be people that rise above their circumstances. We always talk about some mathematician from Calcutta who manages to, traverse great fucking, just overcome great obstacles in their life to become something. And then what you do is you say, hey, you look at that person wherever they are, whoever they might be, and you say, hey, if they can do it, you can do it too. Which on its face seems like it makes sense, right? But in further analysis, it doesn't. What really makes sense is providing people with a different matrix of choices so that they are better equipped to choose outcomes that benefit themselves and the society around them. And in order to make sure that that happens, what you have to do is take a critical look at that society and how the choices that they were born with affect them and the people in their community and where those things come from. And you can do that without actually villainizing anyone. You guys, if you want George Washington, you can have him. You can believe that, you can. If you want George Washington, you can have him. If you want Thomas Jefferson, you can have him. If you want any of those guys, right? All of those guys, if you want them, you can have them. I'm not going to come down on anyone for deifying those guys. I'm not. But what they wrote, okay? Forget about emotions. Forget about any of what they wrote stands for all eternity for us to analyze. What they meant, the systems they put in place, stand in eternity for all of us to look at and study. And the reason why we study it is because we have to. If in the Declaration of Independence, there's talk of savages, and those savages happen to be Native Americans, we have to look at that. Because in my opinion, what then happens is those savages, as they are referred to, we know them to be what's called actually human beings with their own civilization. And then when they are exterminated and wiped off the face of the continent that they inhabited, the question then becomes, well, why?
Yeah.
And then you have to ask yourself, does one thing have to do with the other? If somebody is 3/5 of a human being, is it easier to take their rights away from them?
Yes.
Okay. So, like, I myself, amongst other black people, are always accused of being emotional. Critical race theory is actually de-emotionalizing the situation. I'm not talking about the fact, I'm not saying fuck George Washington, he was a racist. I'm not saying all of that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the systems as they exist to take a sanitized, unbiased, level-headed look at the building blocks of the country and how things went so we can understand which potholes not to drive in next. I just don't understand why you wouldn't want to do that. Like, if you come into something that's dysfunctional, as American society clearly demonstrates itself to be, the first thing you would do, even if this was a business, if this was a bar, with any new owners or any group of people that wanted to change, they'd go through the bar and they find out what's been wrong. Unless you in some way were benefiting from what was wrong before. So I don't get it. And I really would like to have a good faith conversation. I might bring Kamel Foster on for this if you're down for that, Rachel. I would like to have a good faith conversation with someone who really who disagrees, and so we can really hash it out.
I think those people would say that it's as what you said at the top of this topic. They feel like it sets us back. We're not moving forward. It's hurting our society because we're so much better than we used to be. And to that, I would say, if that's the case, then why did we just go through what we went through in 2020? Why is there inequality when it comes to wealth and income and other areas and health and housing and all these things? I am tired of the narrative that we're supposed to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. We're supposed to ignore things that have happened in the past because things might be a little different. I'm not going to say better necessarily, but a little different than they were a few decades ago. That's not how things work. They want us to hold hands, pretend that the world is colorblind, and keep it moving. But if you're a person who's affected by it and you're seeing that these things have not changed and there are these issues and these problems out there, then you can't ignore this. And you have to understand how we got here and why these things are in place. Don't say anything.
Big rage heating up.
I lost my voice. I can't.
Big rage heating up. Ooh, yeah.
I'll be a mess.
You gotta rest those pipes. You're gonna be on The View tomorrow.
Right?
I'm telling you, sounding like Keith Richards looks.
Vicks.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You gotta keep. You have to. You're gonna be here, or are you gonna be? You're gonna be in Houston? Do it. You're gonna need a better signal than what you got right now. That's for sure.
Go to a studio.
You know, a better signal than what you got right now.
A better what?
Does it? Yeah, no. Your grandmother got some.
House?
She got some underground railroad internet. Is what she has. She does. She does. Stop. That's the Harriet Tubman dial-up special that you on over there. Nobody knows. Doesn't Chris Harrison live in Texas? What if you
Yes.
What if
he lives in
if
California,
you rolled up on Chris Harrison right now and
both.
asked him if you could come in and use his Wi-Fi?
I wouldn't even know where to do that.
That would be so crazy. That's so crazy. Knock, knock, knock.
Can you imagine?
Hell yeah.
You think he'd open the door?
Nah, right now he probably would do anything.
Or you think I would
he probably would take a picture of you while you were doing the View and be like, my good friend, black lady, Rachel Lindsay stopped by to do the View. I'm so happy when I can see a mocha chocolate Nubian queen of the other verse. It's so funny.
You love to talk about him. Stop.
Poor bastard.
You already got your headline.
I didn't even think about that.
I feel nothing is going to be the headline.
Nothing. What are you doing? I feel nothing. That's so dramatic. Oh my God. Memorial Day. So I made a joke earlier about Memorial Day and Meghan McCain's tweet. Meghan McCain did not tweet that. So before she gets upset and calls me out, she did not tweet that. However, there was a dust up. And sometimes racism is funny. I'm not gonna lie. I sometimes get a kick out of racism. It's hilarious. No,
Well,
I'm
I
not
think
laughing
you
to
just gotta
cope.
laugh through
Sometimes
some
it's
things.
actually funny.
No? Okay.
You never feel that way?
Okay.
Mhm.
If it's so ridiculous, yes. If it's just so ludicrous, yes. Sometimes I will
Wait
laugh.
a second. Before I get to it.
Is that one of these moments? Is that what?
It's me and my friends. And it's this really nice restaurant there. I won't it's a lot of really nice restaurants, so I won't bring up the name of the place. And me and my boys decide we're gonna go out and celebrate my last homie turning 21 at this restaurant. And it's a fancy place, so you gotta dress up. So we were all dressed in the best way that we could be dressed at 21. I didn't have very many, you know what I mean? And so we go to the restaurant. We had like an 8:30 reservation, and we go there, and we waiting for like 15 minutes, and then but we talking, so we don't realize, right? And then we waiting like 30 minutes, and then one of my homeboys goes, "Hey man, like yo, somebody go up there and see what's going on with the table." And we go up there, and they said, "Just 1 second." They goes, "Actually, you guys aren't really like, I don't know, kind of like appropriate for what's going on inside of here. So you guys mind if we put you a little bit closer?" And one of my homeboys went, "Damn!" Hold on for a second. It's so funny. It's so funny. Well, my homeboys went, "Damn, y'all really on some nigga shit, huh?" And he said it so loud, and he was so pissed off, and it was obvious that they didn't want 5 young black guys dining at the front of their restaurant, that we all just bust out laughing. We all just bust out, but he was pissed. Like, damn, y'all really on some nigga shit. Like, it just dawned on him. Like, this is really racist. And sometimes moments like this are super funny to me. In this no, hell no.
Wait.
Hell
Did y'all
no,
eat
man.
at the restaurant?
We left.
Please finish
and then
the
we got to messing shit up on our way out the door. It was terrible. Like, they had this little mint thing. My nigga knocked the mint thing over, and we gave them the niggas they wanted to see then. Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, we was just like, playing into all their stereotypes. At this point,
we like, and we just started saying random shit like, "Yo, man, we'll fuck this bitch up, bye, man." And like, we knocked over the mint tray, and like, and then we got in the car laughing, and I think we went to Subway, and like that's what we ended up eating for, because we were super hungry by that point.
And all you did is
whatever, they did it first. We came there on some. They did. We came there on some chill shit.
They did it first.
I was dressed up. I had a pair of Eastlands on. Do you remember Eastlands? Y'all don't remember Eastlands, like the half casual shoe that you could wear with some khakis and think that you was dressed up? So look up. Yeah, I had some Eastlands on. I had some Eastlands.
Let's get a graphic.
Some khakis, and they was tucked into
I don't know. Trudy and Donnie.
They was tucked into a
Eastland.
Into like my khaki pants. You seen the Eastlands? Yeah, I had some Eastlands on. Yeah, all right.
You too can have Eastlands at DSW for $79.99.
You know, and I was, yeah, they were dressy. They were like dressy.
Yeah,
but you could
dressy.
rock them. Eastlands were very like versatile. It's very versatile. You could block.
That was a popular shoe back in the day.
So anyway, back to the actual news topic that we were going to discuss. According to the Akron Beach Journal, there was an incident that occurred during an event marking the Memorial Day holiday. Okay, so this all got started when retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Bernard Kempter started to deliver his remarks. This is hilarious, guys. Kempter,
who is white.
Kempter is white. Kempter was the keynote speaker of this Memorial Day event. he got up there and, he's the lieutenant. He's a commissioned man. He starts talking about how much Memorial Day means and all of that. And then he started talking about the discovery of newspaper clippings and handwritten notes that showed that a group of free Black people were among the first people to commemorate the Memorial Day holiday. And just when my man, Barney Kempter, was getting to the Black part, they cut his mic.
It's not funny. I didn't laugh. But you're making me laugh now.
They cut his mic. Barney's up there like, yo, shout out to everybody that's laid down. And I just want to make sure that you guys know that a large portion of this was Black Americans who because that's what it was like for him.
Why are you doing that? I'm so slow.
No, that's what it was like for my man.
I thought it was my grandma.
They just cut him off. And by the way, this is what I like about this, right? This is what I like about this. They didn't even run from this. They didn't run from this. They said that what he was saying didn't fit in the theme and what they wanted to convey for that evening. Yo, you can't tell me that's not funny. That's hysterical.
You know what? I'm actually glad to hear you introduce this topic because I'm gonna tell you, I didn't laugh when I saw it. Because all I thought, first of all,
you're talking about like in South Carolina, the start of the Memorial Day and stuff?
This was news to me.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't know that. So I would have been front and center, really trying to listen to what he had to say. And then I guess coming off the heels of the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Massacre, and just again, to be silenced, to be cut off. Someone's trying to talk about history of Black people, and you're trying to silence that, erase that, and not recognize what Black people have done in history. I guess for me, I'm thinking about that, and it's not funny to me because here we are in present day 2021, and it's still happening. Not only did it happen, it proudly happened. They told local news stations, yep, no, it wasn't an engineering issue. We did it. We cut it off. It didn't fit the program. It didn't fit the theme.
He is. Of course he is. He's the most unexpected of allies. He's both the most unexpected and the most allied that we've had in weeks. Lieutenant Kempter, I would love to have him on there. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's always a 50-50 ball game when you have a white dude of Kempter's age on there because you never know what he's going to say. You might get Kempter on there and he might say, I learned my lesson. Remember my neighbor? He might say, look, I was just doing my best to try to give them niggers their due. I'm not going to say that, but I just...
No. I'm not. The lieutenant would not do that.
Colonel.
The colonel, what is it? I want to get his title right. Lieutenant Colonel would not do that. I'm so like everybody read up on this because I had no idea. No. And I hope maybe I'm alone on this, but I had no idea that they were, exhuming bodies and giving them a proper burial and individual graves with honors. So I just did not know any of this. And just the fact that this was a white man bringing this to light and they tried to silence him. How does what he was talking about not fit in with
It's the very most American of sentiments.
Can you explain that
It's about the very most American of sentiments.
It's about Memorial Day.
Reaching across a cultural line and looking to honor
Black
people
didn't fit in.
Who were patriots. And you're right. Yeah, so this was the first day was like, this was organized by freed slaves and some white missionaries, and it took place May 1st, 1865. So in and of itself, Memorial Day is a unifying thing if you look at it through that lens. Freed slaves and some white missionaries in Charleston, South Carolina, at a former planters' racetrack where Confederates held captured Union soldiers during the last year of the war. At least 257 prisoners died, many of disease, and were buried in unmarked graves. So Black residents of Charleston decided to give them a proper burial. I have chill bumps right now, thinking of how black people. Yeah, I knew about it, but only because it was a meme like a couple of years ago. This is not something that I would learned in high school and college. I learned it maybe like 2019. There was a meme that was going around about it, but I had no clue either. 10 days leading up to the event, 24 African American Charlestonians reorganized the graves into rows and built a 10-foot tall white fence around them. An archway overhead spelled out "Martyrs of the Race Course" in black letters. That is some of the earliest remembrances and earliest commemorations of Memorial Day. And there were 10,000 mostly black people who participated in the tribute on May 1st. And it was documented by the Charleston Daily Courier and the New York Tribune. School children, everyone was involved. They sang "We'll Rally Around the Flag." They sang the Star Spangled Banner. They sang all kinds of different stuff. And it was a procession. They really got it cracking. And that is something that, once again, as we were talking about a little while ago, it's not emotional. It's historical. Black people were at the forefront of that. And that's beautiful. Think about black people in 1865 having even a shred of patriotism. If that's not worth, after what they've been through, if that's
after what
I don't know why you would want to celebrate that. It's weird. Sometimes it's boy, I tell you what, man. No, it's
that's
no.
Right.
I'm just saying, man.
Change that tune.
I hope somebody somewhere can hear me. I'm not mad. I'm not about to get emotional or do all that stuff. But god damn, man, if y'all don't make yourself, and I don't hate anyone, but these people make themselves easy to hate, man. That's wild. Like this is objectively a beautiful story of unity and remembrance.
And that's what the lieutenant colonel was trying to put forward. But you got to ask yourself why they would want.
It's just weird. Like, okay, why?
Why?
Racist. It's racist.
It's not weird. It's racist. It's not. It's racist. Period. And the fact that they tried to silence that, and you ask why we get upset when we have these. That's why I guess I couldn't laugh when I was reading it, because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. That
you would try to hide that from people. And this obviously was important enough for the lieutenant colonel to want to bring it to the forefront.
That nigga was like, and it was actually started by a woman named Jamisha Scales and Roquan, and they cut the shit as soon as they heard the black names. Click. That's not what we're here for. We got to eat this potato salad. You're not about to ruin our potato salad by talking about no damn black people. And
but
we don't want to know that.
Can we give props to him too, because they read his speech before and tried to take
Kempter
that
is a G,
and he still was like, no,
Kempter not playing.
I'm gonna talk about this.
Kempter not playing.
I'm gonna talk about it,
man. Shout out to Kempter. I want him on the show. Barnard Kempter.
Yeah.
Retired Lieutenant Army Colonel. Retired Lieutenant Colonel, should I say? So those in Ohio, I want him on the show. Just being doesn't even have an allegiance to right or wrong, left or right. Has an allegiance to the truth and history. It's amazing to see.
Okay.
Yeah, but look, you guys, we have a special treat for you here after the break on Higher Learning. We got one of the most legendary comedians of all time. We're doing great in our comedian bags, but this guy's up there. We got Katt Williams, the star of Meet the Blacks 2. He's going to join us on the other side of this break. You guys, it's not often that we get to use the L word on the podcast, but we are definitely using the L word on the podcast today, and that L word is legend. Oh, we have an absolute legend in his field on the podcast today. Katt Williams, who is the star of The House Next Door, Meet the Blacks 2, joins us today on Higher Learning. Brother, we are pleased to have you.
Thank you. What a fine introduction, man. Thank you so much. And thank you, Rachel, as well.
So when I say that, when I described when I describe you as a legend in comedy, do you feel like that's an apt description of Katt Williams?
No. Legendary, yeah.
At what point? Because see, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't know what that's like. At what point did you look up at yourself and was like, yo, I'm one of the greats to do this ever. I'm one of the best at this of all time, and nobody can take it away from me?
During the pandemic.
Oh, it was during the pandemic.
Really?
Okay.
Why do you say that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you really, I have been working on humility for this last portion of my life. Those of us that go through the commandments, there's some that we're just not good at. Patience and humility were that I needed to work on, and that's what I worked on. By the same token, though, it's bad for our community, for our business, if we act like the good people in our business are the villains, because then it means that our villains are somehow put on a pedestal as good guys. And in our business, it's the body of work that speaks to what you are in our field, the quality and the quantity of the work that you put out. And so based upon that is why I accepted the L word, just because the work has been put in, just because the content is put in, the care has been there, the fact that the things hold up over time.
And because you are a legend, what is your take on the current state of comedy right now? Like, especially in regards, because I don't know if I've heard you talk about it, just like with cancel culture and comedy and people feeling like they can't be them true selves on the stage. What's your take on all that?
I'm a guy in the game that appreciates that there has to be bounds. Cancel culture is not really a thing. See, cancellation doesn't have its own culture. This was a part of people of color's culture, and we needed something that would police our people that were being trashed and physically, mentally, and financially raped in our business by people that were wealthier and bigger than them. And then they were able to sweep their small voices under the rug. And that's what cancel culture was for, was to make sure that there was a recompense for whatever action you did. So I'm not one of those people that thinks it's a bad thing. I'm not really sure who we think got canceled that shouldn't have been. So you have to understand that when things evolve, you either evolve with it or you evolve against it. And there's no such thing as that. I don't want to call somebody something that I shouldn't call them, when if I had known that, I could have found something else to call them. You understand? So nobody likes the speed limit, but it's there for a reason. Nobody wants to be on the shoulder of the road because it's bumpy, but that's to wake you up to get back in lane. And most people that are complaining about not having anything to say didn't have anything to say in those years when they could say whatever they wanted to. They didn't make it then either.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was not expecting that answer from you, brother, because you've always said whatever you wanted and been there. And I talk to a lot of comedians and I have comic friends, and it seems to be kind of a running narrative amongst the comic community that they feel a little shackled by what it is that they can and cannot say these days. You hear everybody talking about it.
Right, because I'm not that outspoken for the sake of being outspoken. They say that I'm outspoken because no one pays me. So I don't have in 9, 10, 11 specials, I don't have anybody that put up money to see Katt Williams be successful or took him out on the road and exposed him. This was me financing, writing, doing every set for 16 100 city tours, like This was our same entity doing this. So we don't have to be beholden to entities because we've not taken anything from any entities. Just because there are bad elements doesn't mean that you can now say, yeah, you can't, you scared to say anything now. What did you think you were saying before? Those jokes weren't famous. Those ones when you could say whatever you wanted, you know what I mean? So you can expect me to have a different answer to the questions that people have agreed upon, because that's what makes me a legendary comic, is that if you line me up with 100 other comics, I'm not gonna say what 99 comics said. And that's where you get a legendary status in comedy.
Is it me or you?
It's you.
It's
okay.
you.
Thank you, Katt.
Thank you, Rachel.
I saw where Saweetie was talking, and she was talking, I don't know, she might be talking Breakfast Club or something like that. And she was saying how one of your jokes helped her get over people hating on her. Her dad showed her a joke of yours where you talked about haters and how that's a good thing. If you got 14 haters, you need 20 more or something like that. Do you hear that a lot about the work that you do? Like people coming up to you saying, hey, like this joke helped me through this, because this, I mean, like the depth of the things that you talk about, even most recently, what you did with Supreme, I really feel like your jokes help people. Sorry, I lost my voice. I had a good weekend, Katt.
That's okay. I love when a woman's voice sounds like that. It means a good weekend.
I was just wondering, do you hear that a lot? Like Saweetie's comments of people coming up to you and saying your comedy helps them get through things or over certain things?
Yeah, well, it's for them. So I'm not surprised that it's benefiting people. That's who the medicine was prescribed to. That's number one. Number two, anything that you hear me saying to my audience is something that I'm also saying to myself first. That's the relationship with that propelled me to a higher place. I don't think there's anything more important on this planet than a woman, period. Because that's how I feel, that bleeds into everything that I do. It's not a thing that was done because a movement came. I really love my people, even at the worst of them. So that comes through. I need someone to understand that hatred is part of it. It went for Gandhi, it went for Jesus, it went for Muhammad, it goes for you. And if you understood that that was part of what comes with it, then you'd understand that the rind comes with the orange. The seeds are in the watermelon. You understand that you don't eat the silk off the corn's up under. These are pieces to God's creation. And if you can have somebody give that to you, even if it's comedically, it can help. And it's not going to apply to anybody except the people that were already great, the people that just needed a word, the people and that's who I service. So I'm no different than anybody else who loves their job, but I really love my job. It's the only really care about in the world. So it's a blessed place.
So I'm going to ask you that, comedy is bustling right now. A lot of guys out there. And there's a lot of dudes out there doing it at a very high level. It's just like tiers of comedy. And to you, what makes a legendary comic? Like, what are the ingredients? I'm sure you would agree that Dave Chappelle is a legend. I'm sure that you would agree that Chris Rock is a legend. And there are other guys, like obviously Kevin Hart has done his thing, and he's up on that kind of legendary status now. And you're there, and there's a lot of different people that are up there. Bill Burr, all over the place. Like, what makes a legendary comic? Like, what makes a comic to you? Like, what are the ingredients? Because I'm hearing you talking about longevity, you're talking about originality. What makes what's the elixir?
All of the comedians that you named, with no exception, were working in 1999 and were well on their way to being famous.
Okay.
Meaning that you can already enter yourself, like with any workplace, into a field of people knowing that you're good. And you have to be good for a portion of time in order to be great. And then you have to be great for a portion of time to become legendary. You follow what I'm saying? There's no shortcuts to any of this. So Ja Morant can be the greatest version of himself. He's just coming out, and he can just come out and you can say, in watching him for just this playoffs, man, that dude's gonna be great, right? LeBron on 17th, 18th, 19th season is a whole different element of greatness. Part of the upper tier is not what's happened good for you. It's what has happened messed up in your life also as well during this period of time that you were able to supersede. You follow what I'm saying? Richard Pryor doesn't of comedy without being a crackhead, without freebasing, without sleeping with guys, without marrying 7 women. This is all part of this dude's story, and the legendary GOAT status is that he was able to do all of that and still be the GOAT in our framework. And at some point, that's where longevity comes into play. But our field has always been busy, and there is great talent out there, whether they came through Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok. There are some really great, funny young minds that have entered our comedy space, and that's what comedy always does.
Who's the funniest new guy that you like? Is there anybody in particular?
Well, we would have to quantify new guy.
Okay.
Only because, you know, in comedy and stand-up especially, you can be doing this thing for 5 to 7 years and still consider yourself and be considered a new comic.
Okay.
A lot of these Billy Sorrells and delays have only recently gotten the status that they think, and the issue becomes, okay, let's say you do have it. You've got the crown. Well, part of the rest of this is how you carry it, how you hold it, and how long you keep it up there. And so that's what the Tony Bakers and the Tahirs and that's what these new guys bring to that forum is, you know, Kev on stage. These guys are giving you different variations of our craft, and that's important as well.
Mm-hmm. Katt, does it bother you when people make certain assumptions about you because of something that they've read or they think they know? Or like even most recently when you were talking to Fat Joe and he was talking to you about comedians and drugs and how he perceives that. Does that bother you when you hear stuff like that?
I'm empowered by a lot of the things that bother me. It's hard for me to complain about the fuel. I have in the past allowed those things to be said just because I don't really mind people being dumb, and dumb people aren't part of my fan base. So if you wanted to believe that Katt Williams was anything negative, then first and foremost, you should be able to beat him. So even if he was all the things that you labeled him with, it doesn't explain how he outworks you on a consistent basis in every lane, movies, TV, stand-up. As a person, he looks better. A lot of the things don't add up, but they're done by the system purposely. So if they can't find something positive to say about you, they will find negative things to say. And apologies and things are not even built in our system. So in our system, it's a part of a thing to say, this person was charged with these crimes. But there is no part of the system that makes those same people come back out and go, the charges were dismissed because the guy was innocent. And we should have never subjected it. None of that ever comes about. And at the end of the day, it's easier for people to believe bad things about you. To believe good things about a person means an investment in character. It's much easier to go, yeah, he sweats on stage, drugs. The other way would be, maybe that's the only guy on stage not wearing makeup. I don't know. I don't need to lead the witness. Feel however you'd like to feel. I have eczema. I'm performing for ladies who want to see me sweat the hair out. I don't have the concern of penises because that's not my fan base. And when I said that, people were like, he thinks he's got the most female fan base. My fan base is 86% female. Is that enough? Does that not already put them blessed amongst the men? I'm thankful that they're talking. Back in the day, they used to say, all press is good press. They stopped saying that. They used to say, well, just be worried when they stop talking about you. But yeah, longevity works with rumors really well.
So look, there's a Katt Williams clip that I watch all the time. And I don't know if people are going to be mad at me for saying that this is the one that I watch all the time. Because it was very controversial. Oh, it wasn't very controversial. It was so a couple of years ago, you went on V103 in Atlanta. Do you remember that? And
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. And it was, and this right here, and I want people to, when you watch the clip, watch the stages leading up to what happened. Everybody's having a good time. People are going back and forth, and then for some reason, the signals get crossed. And you can tell on Katt's face that he felt like somebody was coming for him. And the lady's name was Wanda, and she was a comedian down there in Atlanta. And Katt just what, am I wrong about that? Am I saying it up wrong?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Tell me.
Two of those things are wrong.
Okay,
and they shade the whole thing.
Okay, so, tell me what happened. Because this is a legendary viral moment of Katt roasting a female comedian, a Katt roasting a comedian that was the co-host of Frank Ski's show. Oh, he's shaking his head.
No.
Okay, what happened?
Okay, so there were two things at play.
Okay.
At play was, this was not my moment. This was not supposed to be my moment. This was supposed to be another comedian, Red Grant.
Shout out Red Grant.
His moment, right? Mm-hmm. This person comes to me and tries to make it, Katt, can't you say hi to your people? Atlanta loves you. I represent Atlanta, and you just won an Emmy for Atlanta. I don't want to talk about your personal life. I don't want to talk about your kids. I just want to big up you to my crowd. That's how this was set up. So automatically when she goes into kids and whatnot, it's already off the rails at that point. I'm telling her, ma'am, I've watched you and your response when my name is brought up on your channel. It was the fact that she went out of her way to say that wouldn't be the case. You follow what I'm saying? I don't do that at my comedy shows. I'm not a comedian that picks on the audience. That's not a part of my thing. Atlanta is famous for roasters, but I'm not a roaster. I'm a fighter. Also offended because I know the majority of female comics in this business. And I know that as a big time male comedian, you have to go out of your way to hire these female comics so that they're represented. And my fan base is female. So I make sure that I bring female artists for my fan base to see. That woman is not a comedian then or now. That woman was never that was nobody's favorite comic ever. Wasn't a comedian. That was a radio personality that used to come and do comedy shows and host and steal people's material. This was a hack. So there was no respect comedically. It was actually disrespect. And so that's how it was handled. My job was to use no curse words, to not demean her in any way. And if your husband pulls a pistol out on me, not make sure that he goes to jail for the rest of his life, destroying your family. These are the G things I have to do in these scenarios, because those type of people can never win in any scenario.
Yeah, she definitely didn't win in that one. That
No, because you have to be delusional to want to engage yourself with me like that. Like, understand, I was on Wild and Out. I was 35 years old and there with them youngsters. What you want to play with it on any level, however you want to deal with things. I work too hard. I try too much. I care too much. Beating me is, no, it's unnecessary.
Would you, last question for me, because I know Rachel's got a couple. Would you ever see yourself doing a movie with Kevin Hart? Katt Williams, Kevin Hart, big time comic deal, linking up.
When these people say these things to you, they're only saying these things for your reaction. They're saying that because that's what they want people to say. If you look back on their IMDb, you'll probably notice they already worked.
They have done movies, yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? They probably had the movie 2 Minutes of Fame with me and Jay Farrow, and it was probably on the LOL network, and you decided to not be in the movie with your own art. Like, no, I don't do that. That's what this movie here shows. I'm not an ego-driven person. I want what's best for the audience, no matter what the size of my role is. I know young Katt Williams is in that theater, and he wants to see what I'm gonna do, and he believes that I'm gonna give it 100%. If it's on stage, if it's on TV, if it's on film, he feels like I'm 100% invested. Only care is making him laugh or making her laugh. And that's what I try to bring to this sport. And I feel like if that's how you felt, you probably are better than the rest. Who knows? Rachel?
Last question I'll just ask you. Katt, last question I'll ask you.
Oh my God.
It's just, you've got the new movie, The House Next Door, Meet the Blacks 2. Please tell us about it, because it's coming out in theaters. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but it's coming out in theaters soon. So please
shout out Deion Cole. Shout out the homie.
And why we all should go out and see it.
Deion Taylor, yeah.
Deion Taylor, my bad. Yeah, shout out Deion Taylor.
So this was already a group, a family that had done a movie together. And the only additions to the cast were myself and my henchmen. And so we were the only additions to this universe. And so it made it a play-in, playoffs type of situation. Then it allowed me to, when I read script, I'm not the funny guy in the script. I'm a straight man. So now if you got me as a straight man, you must really have some shooters. And considering we really did have some shooters, that's what made it work so well and organically, because a lot of the things that should have been acting weren't acting. They were natural.
Yeah.
And great.
And Deion gonna be mad at me because I called him Deion Cole, but look, he sent me the he sent me the trailer.
Shout out to Deion.
Shout out to Deion Cole, Deion Taylor, those my guys. Like they sent me the trailer, and it's like, yo, Van, post a trailer, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It's very rarely that you laugh. You guys, anyone that's thinking about going to see the movie, just put the trailer on. The shit is fucking hysterical. Like, literally.
Yeah, well, what makes it different, though, is lots of trailers are funny. But then when you get to the movie, you find out that all the funny parts were in the trailer.
Right. Right.
Yeah, this is not that scenario.
And you say you're playing the straight man, but you're playing it so straight that is dumbass funny. Like he's being like he's like an elegant type of villain, this character. And it's so straight that is dumbass funny. Shout out to Duval, shout out to Michael and everybody that's in the movie. But I really cannot wait to actually go see the film. I can't wait. It's going to be real funny, man. And it's good to talk to you. We haven't ever. Yes. The last time I saw you, you might not remember this. I was a TMZ cameraman. And I got a shot.
You don't think I remember your meeting, bro? You don't think I? Oh,
what happened? What happened?
Oh, this is only two people that were gonna make it out of TMZ that generation. And it was the guy who's with you, and there was another young lady who had potential. But at each point, I'm hemming these folks up like, y'all know y'all part of the machine that chews up dudes like me.
It was always be real. You would shoot Katt would give you the answer, and then he would give you a jewel. And it would be so, it was like, I used to tell my homies, it'd be so loving. He'd be like, yes, and I know that you know you're better than this. Have a great day. What is it about?
Because, it doesn't matter what lane it is. as an older person, you see the potential in younger people, and you see when somebody has a moral compass and the ability to have a standard. And you know when people are too good for stuff, but you understand what springboards are. You understand what stepping stones are. And so, you know, that's how far back we go. But that means that when I see it down the line, it makes sense, you know? So
word up.
It's a big compliment, man.
Yeah, man. Look, one of the smartest, one of the best interviews, one of like the last true authentic guys we have out here in this space. Happy to see you prospering and thriving, bro. Happy to see,
absolutely,
you know, you doing your thing, man, and embracing that legendary status, bro. So thank you for joining us today, Katt.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Take care.
And Rachel, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. No matter what your voice is doing, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, it's mailbag time. Okay, drop the song. Mailbag time. Time to read your letters and then we'll reply to them. Oh, it's mailbag time. Write us with your queries and we'll chime in. All right, Trudy. Oh, by the way, before we even get to the mailbag, somebody, I got to look back and give this guy props for his name. Somebody made a beat to the mailbag song. He put some, I got to look at his name. It was on Reddit. Shout out to our Thought Warriors. I you know what? I de-joined the Reddit group. I'm not in the Reddit group anymore. Because
why? You were so happy.
It's not my place to be in the Reddit group. The Reddit group. No, somebody brought up a good point.
Did you tell them?
Somebody said that somebody that was very critical of my performance on the podcast, but still though, I appreciate it. Somebody brought up a good point. Someone said that me being on the Reddit group cheapens the expressions of the Reddit group because there might be fans on there. They're not giving their true opinions about things because they know I'll see it. That's very true. So everybody go to our Thought Warriors. It's still popping over there, but it's not for me. It's for the fans. There you go. All right, Trudy, let's go. Let's go with the mailbag time. Let's do it now.
Yes. Okay.
My question to Olivia is, how old were you when you first produced your most delicious cookie? Like, how old were you when you and the rest of your elves that live in a tree and produce cookies? How old were you then, Kleber? Keebler elves. Like, how old? You don't know the Keebler elves? She's a Keebler. Keebler.
I do.
This
I'm
is a Keebler elf.
Follow you
Olivia
right now.
Keebler. How old when you first produced? Her name is Olivia Keebler.
Was that her last name?
There's no way she could have gone to school with me. I'd have been bringing her pointy ass shoes, putting little paper hats on her head, the whole nine. My fans, stop! I'm just joking, wow. Olivia Keebler. We live in a house. We are elves and we make the cookies. Yeah. All right. How old were y'all? Like, how old was I? How old was I when I got my first fist fight? I don't know, like 6.
I've never been in a full on fight. My first time when I hit somebody, she didn't hit back. First time I hit somebody, I think my dad said I was like 5,
6,
5 or 6.
6, like I
punched her in the stomach.
I remember I got into it, and I remember getting punched in the face and being like, "Damn, that shit hurt." I remember I got hit right there, and then my shit swelled up. It's like 6. I'm putting in some work. You know what I'm saying? All right, next question. This question is problematic for a lot of reasons. I feel like if we Freaky Friday,
I actually like the question.
That sounds so nasty. If you Freaky Friday with your co-host, what is the first thing you would do as them?
Okay, stop.
You know what the first thing I would do? and call Chris Harrison.
What?
I would.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew.
I'll call Chris Harrison.
I will just give you his number so you can give him a call.
But it would be like Van talking as Rachel. Hi, Rachel. How are you doing?
I would. It's funny. I was gonna say I would call somebody too. I would call your dad because you continue to. Yes, you tell all these stories. He's so funny. You keep him from us. You won't let him come on the podcast.
You call I want to meet dad.
Him. That's who I would call. I'd also take your Oscar and just like walk down the street with it and let everybody know that I want an Oscar. That's what I would
call my dad, and then
I want to hold the Oscar.
You would almost immediately regret it. When I tell you, you'd almost
this intrigues me even more.
Regret it. Like, hello, hey there, boy. How you doing? Hi, Mr. Lathan. Mr. Lathan? Nigga, what is wrong with you? Because you don't know.
Why would I say that?
Nigga, who you talking to with Mr. Lathan? You put a yes on the end of that, sir. And right away, you have no idea what to say.
I got him.
Boy.
I got you.
How your gal doing? Your gal doing all right?
That's a good question.
She's all right, Dad. All right, now. I'm telling you. You don't do no harder work in your relationship than some dick work. Make sure she don't step out on you now, boy. I'm telling you. Hard work is dick work. Make sure she ain't going nowhere now. I'm telling you. Let me know if you need to tag your daddy in and hold it down. He says stuff like that. I'm telling you. All right, next question. The next question. He said that's how the nigga talk. Yeah.
I'm so intrigued. Oh no. You said, who are you gonna what?
I'm gonna spend the 24 hours with Kalika, and I'm gonna spend the money making up for mistakes that I've made over the course of our relationship, just buying different shit and just making sure we're good before I peace out. Like that's what's gonna happen. But I don't know. You guys know me. If I know that the clock is ticking, I'm not gonna be able to think of anything besides the clock and cupcakes. I'm just gonna be one big cupcake. What about you, Rach?
I would probably spend it with obviously Brian, but I'd want to have my parents. I want to at least see my parents. I want to see my grandmother. I want to see my siblings. I want to see as many loved ones as I can. My final moments I would want with Brian. I would give, for the $1 million, I give 10% to the church. Brian will be taken care of because that's what life insurance is for. And I would probably just donate it. I would just spread it out and donate it. Because all I would want, if I had 24 hours left, is just that time with loved ones. I wouldn't care about doing big things or buying things. Let me just give it away.
You and Brian could do Grease Lightning. You know. I love Grease.
Now this is a movie I can play with you with on.
Of course.
I do too. Grease 2? Have you seen Grease 2?
Passable. Grease 1 is classic. Okay. Grease 2 is okay. Born to hand job, baby. Born to hand job, baby. All right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, if the rewatchables do Grease, they have to bring
Bill
me on.
would do.
That's probably the only
Grease.
movie I could do.
No, but he has to like decide
episode?
which movie. It's probably either Bill, Chris, or Sean. I'm not sure the way it goes. They just call me up and be like, "Hey, Van, we're doing this on the rewatchables," and then I go in and have a great time with the guys. But I wonder if they would do Grease. I wonder if they've done Grease. I'll make the case.
Convince them. convince them.
They had to have done La La
Might be
Land.
the first musical they've done.
They had to have done La La Land. I don't know. Maybe they didn't.
No.
Maybe it came out too soon. I don't know. I have to look. Who knows? All right. Last question.
Okay. Last question. You said serious like your faith and weird like food stuff. What's another question? You want to answer that one?
What is the most important biggest takeaways from growing up in the South? So, okay, so in Louisiana, it rains a lot, right? So
yes.
When it rains in Louisiana, it's like it rains, especially in the summer, and it's super hot, and the rain comes through, and it's very, very like chaotic. It's chaotic. It's destabilizing. It's like not the rain we get out here, this minor league rain that we get in LA. It's like major league rains, like storms, almost as if there's so much going on that the earth is violently crying in an emotional way, trying to wipe it away. But right after it rains, in Louisiana, the humidity makes the condensation on the ground sort of rise, and then the air kind of pushes down a little bit. And there's this moment where you feel like you're in heaven and everybody is outside, right? Right? Yeah, it is. And everybody is outside.
Wow.
Everyone's outside. People come outside. It's safe to come back outside again. The storm has passed. And growing up in the South, there was always something like that. It's less about, at least for me, growing up in Louisiana, it was less about concentrating on myself. Like, myself and my individual needs didn't really matter that much. What mattered was like how we acted and functioned and moved as a community. Who was going to tell you it was safe to come outside when the storm was over? Who was going to look after you if you got home and your door was locked and you didn't have anywhere to go? Or like who was going to feed you if y'all were having a down month and there was nowhere to eat? Like, it was a feeling that people were going to come out when it was safe, and they also weren't going to let you do bad. Even if they didn't like you, they weren't going to let you do bad. They were going to do a little thing to make sure that in the moment you had what it is that you needed. And the moment that you go to some other place, you search for that, and you kind of spend the rest of your life like trying to find a place where you have that. And there might be little pockets where you have it, right? You might have it at a friend's house. You might have it at your community center. You might even have it at your gym if you out there hooping with your homeboys. But living that, where every single person matters to the tandem, where like we're a neighborhood, to where we're a part of town, to where we're a town, like my dad's town of Merrington, and all the people are they know each other, and there's a familiarity and there's an understanding, even though we talk shit, even though we fight, even though there's racism and there's all of that stuff. There's like a cultural oneness. And that's what the South really means to me. And I think you have to be a Southerner to understand it. Like you have to be a Southerner to really get how that is, because people look at it and they go, look, that's a place I would never want to live. And it's a place I might never live again, but in order to make me who I am, it's the only place I could have come from. So like, so I adore Louisiana and I adore the South because I adore people's real emotions and how they really feel about things and what they really think. And that's what you get when you're down there.
Wow. That was very prophetic. And I don't want to say anything. I was going to say something silly or something, but no, I definitely agree with you. It's what you just described is a form of Southern pride. And you don't get it, you don't understand it unless you're from here. Now I cannot relate to the whole.
You never played baseball. You never played baseball.
Thing, but
so,
wow, that was beautiful.
If you play baseball, you know when you're out on the field and you feel like, my God,
no, I didn't.
Sweet relief, and then it's right there, but then it burns off and it's hot again. But right there in that middle part is perfect. All right, who's your unexpected ally of the week? Big Rach.
Oh, okay. Let me get her name right. Because I actually have one this week other than Lieutenant Colonel. Mine goes to Paxton Smith, the valedictorian of Lake Highlands High School, class of 2021. Lake Highlands is a school in Dallas, inside of Dallas proper. Very familiar with it. Had several friends who graduated from the school. But for her to use her commencement ceremony speech to talk about issues of pro-choice, I think is a bold and beautiful thing, especially in the state of Texas, to bring awareness to the issues that are surrounding and are threatening pro-choice. And so I just commend her for that. She had submitted her speech before the ceremony and then decided to change it on what was important to her, what was on her heart. So kudos to her for that.
That actually is great. I love to see the youth get involved. I read that story. That was dope. Mine is the Lieutenant Colonel. He put it on the line. He did his thing, and they cut that man's mic. They
well deserved.
Cut this man's mic. God damn it! I tell you what. All right, look, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough higher learning for right now. Take think caps off, but do not stop learning. Tomorrow, actually, I guess it's today. Tune in to Big Rach on The View. All right? Watch Big Rach on The View. Sarah's days on The View are numbered.
Stop.
I see the new sheriff in town. I'm just joking. I don't know that lady. I hope she has her job for as long as she wants it. Take Kips off. I'm Van Lathan. We out.
I'm Rachel Lindsay. Bye, guys.